This is TWiT.
I thought, Leo, when you were going to go into contentious territory, I thought where you were going to go was Facebook and political ads.
There's another one.
The same place there where Facebook, on the one hand, says we have standards of behavior, community standards, for all of our users now, except politicians. Now, there's an argument in favor of free speech, political speech. We know what's happening. Facebook's not the arbiter of truth, and so on and so forth. I can make all those arguments.
I liked Casey Newton's take on this. Did you read Casey's Facebook?
No.
I'm sorry, Verge article about the Facebook.
Oh, yeah. I did the Verge one, yes.
Yeah. He's pointing out, let me see if I can find it, that in the media...
Funny, I don't see bylines sometimes.
Yeah. Basically what he's saying is it's the same as broadcast media. Although a number of people turned down the Trump campaign's most recent
only
ad.
CNN. That was
only
the weird thing with the New York Times story. The New York Times story focused on Facebook left this ad up. When Twitter left it up, YouTube left it up. I was on MSNBC to discuss this, and before we went on the air, Steph Rule said that she's talking through to her control room saying, we ran this ad.
Yeah, I saw the ad on MSNBC, yeah.
We've got to say that. And Dylan Byers came on and said the weird thing about this story is the New York Times, because they were focusing on Facebook when everybody else ran the ad. The story here is that CNN is the only place that took it down because it attacked CNN.
So here's what Casey says. Certainly, it would be nice if politicians stuck to the truth in their campaign advertising. And we do live in a nation that has truth in advertising laws enforced by the Federal Trade Commission. But, like Facebook, the FTC also declines to weigh in on the truth of political advertising. And in a case earlier this decade where a state attempted to mandate truth in political advertising, the law was struck down by a federal judge saying we do not want the government, in this case the Ohio Elections Commission, to decide what is political truth for fear that the government might persecute those who criticize it. In the democracy, voters should decide. Now, admittedly, government is different than Facebook. But I think that's an interesting point. I think what Facebook is saying...
We're trying to mandate, we're trying to argue that there should be a government mandate that Facebook should take down things that are false, in which case then it's not different.
Right,
it's an
it's
agent
no
of
different.
government.
Facebook's approach to this problem, writes Newton, has been to make political ads public so that researchers, journalists, and curious citizens can investigate the content of those ads themselves and then have a free debate over the merits often on the platform. In fact, I would submit Facebook is better suited to that than MSNBC or any broadcast network. There's no like, well, here's more information about these claims that you can put on an ad on a broadcast network, but Facebook can. So in this case, this is a hard one, and I think Facebook...
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
I think I on the brief segment on MSNBC, I defended, along with Dylan Byers, Facebook in this case, saying we don't want them to be the ministry of truth. It's a bad role. It's political speech. We want political speech. To limit political speech is a dangerous thing, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but if the Nazi Party comes on and says,
yes.
I mean, there are limits, right, to what lies you can tell.
So, well, here's the other level. I also, if it had gone on longer, which it never does on TV, unlike us,
we go on and on and on.
Didn't get the chance to add. I think that Facebook does have community standards. It does say certain things are unacceptable from its users and citizens. It should bring those same standards. Now, the truth is not the standard, but bullying, racism, and hate and things like that they wouldn't allow from a user, they shouldn't take in an ad, in my view. That's fine.
I don't understand why truth wouldn't be a standard.
Because
who judges the truth?
Here's my smart-ass remark that I finally came up with on the air. If truth were so easy, we wouldn't need millions of journalists to go get it.
Yeah.
Truth is not an easy standard. It sounds easy, but it's not. And I'm working in the areas of misinformation and places like First Draft, which is here at the school.
Right.
Work on this all the time. It's very, very difficult.
Let me ask you this, Jeff, because somebody in the chat room said something interesting. How about facts?
There we go.
Can you say what's factual and what's not factual?
Facts, it's not as easy either, because you have what you have happening now. You can spin facts, exactly. You can manipulate facts. And you have there are fact checkers Facebook employs they pay for to do this work, and the right says they're all left-wing.
So
They only go after
so
our
for
stuff.
instance, you and everybody here might agree that the sky is blue, but there might be somebody who says the sky is green, and for them that actually might be factual.
Factual.
So
there's actually a wonderful example when Greta Thunberg came over. One of the things that went around on Twitter was that she was criticizing people, the signatories of the UN Treaty on Climate Change, and people were calling her out for not calling out the top two polluters, the U.S. and China. But neither of those were actually part of that treaty, which is why she wasn't calling them out, because she was only calling out those people.
We never agreed to it.
It's a fact that, she wasn't calling out the two big polluters. But I mean, that's the challenge. I mean, as someone who reports on policy a lot, there are facts and there's actually the truth. And then there's also what something's going to enable or mean, which all of those can be very different. And it's your job as a journalist to understand all of those and to report for people the actual truth and then what the implications are of that particular truth. And that's important.
I just want to get on record thanking
lies,
you.
Damn lies, and statistics.
Are you drunk? Are you drunk, Karsten? Have you been drinking, Karsten?
No.
Okay, I just want to go on record. The word is statistics.
It's hard for him to talk when you take the gag out of his mouth.
I know. To be fair, he is wearing a ball gag, so
and enjoying
it. Oh yeah. No, I want to thank you all, because these are very, very hard things.
It makes my head hurt.
Yeah, it makes your hair hurt?
My head hurt.
Oh, okay, because your hair is gone, and I don't know if it's hurting or not.
Pains.
But we haven't seen it in a long time. No, I appreciate all of your willingness, and I think that's one of the things that's great about this show is we can take on some pretty difficult topics. And I don't think we've come to a conclusion.
We can take on dark mode.
Dark mode's a much easier debate. It's not good.
It's not a debate.
It's not good, right?
It is not a debate.
It's good. It's not good. I don't know. I'm telling you, we're going to do a show. Micah has a name I don't like called Hills to Die On, but we're going to. I want to call it the.
Yeah, it's a little dystopian.
That's a little creepy.
Well,
the smaller the difference, the bigger the battle, which is like GIF versus GIF,
right?
Or black dress. What was it? Red dress, green,
blue dress, or whatever that was.
The deep dish versus thin crust.
Yeah, exactly. The most minor the difference, because everybody can have an opinion on GIF versus GIF. You don't have to have any knowledge. You just have an opinion.
Yeah, you do.
I think the hardest, actually the biggest debates you will ever have are when you believe. We all fundamentally believe that we are good people who have a moral center.
Right.
And it's when things come up to challenge the two things you believe, so we're pro-capitalists and we believe we have a moral center, we're going to fight the most over things where I think we should go capitalist and you think we should go moral center, and vice versa.
That's this show. That's not that show. That show's GIF versus GIF. I just want.
This is the hardcore show.
This is the show. And by the way, I know you don't hate America. You just hate me. Okay,
what?
I understand. No, it's okay.
Allegedly.
I spend 3 hours a week with you. If I hated you, I would not.
Thank you. I love you too.